$1,400 comes in handy, huh?
Sure does. Since I'm engaged, I'm going to have a terrific honeymoon and pay off all my debts and just go to Hawaii and have a great time.
Well, I'm glad we can help you out. Maybe you'll add some more in a moment. Right now, we're going to deal out 2 brand new decks of cards. And as we meet the 2 new decks of cards, a new challenger on Card Sharks. Hello there, Mary Jane Levy, right?
I'm Mary Jane Levy, and I'm vice president of a public relations firm out here in Los Angeles. And people have always said I talk a lot. I have a license plate that says it, so here I am.
What do you mean your license plate says what?
It says G-O-X-A-L-O-T. So.
Oh, your license plate just talks a lot.
Yeah.
A vice president? You're a very young vice president.
Yes, a very 22-year-old vice president. Almost 22.
Good. Well, Mary Jane, we're delighted to have you here. You're obviously a very sharp lady. Let's see how it goes for you again. You cut your cards?
Yes.
Here we go. Starting the best 2 out of 3 with a question to Greg. Greg, we asked 100 married women. Have you ever spent hours at the beauty parlor, only to come home and have your husband say, "Good grief, what have you done to yourself?"
Oh, I say,
Well, how many said that's happened to them?
my mother does that a lot. She comes home to the beauty parlor, my dad sees her and goes, eh. So it's going to be a high number, approximately about 68.
68. And is his definitive comment, huh?
That's
Mary
right.
Jane, higher or lower than 68?
This is a rough one, you know. It's true. Most men don't like the new styles at all. I would have to say it's a teeny bit higher.
Higher than that. The actual number of married women who spend hours at the beauty parlor only to have their husband say, "What have you done to yourself?" is 42, not higher. Greg. Pretty sizable number, though. Greg starts off the match with a 5. Whoops. All right, a card fell, and our rule on that is we'll just drop it out. I don't even want to know what it is. Next card off the top of the deck goes here. Greg, you've got a 5.
I'll keep the 5 and go higher.
Higher than a 5? Well, a new card works.
Terrific.
The queen.
Let's take the queen and go lower.
Lower than a queen. Oh, no, another queen. That didn't work at all. And a free chance for Mary Jane to play off a king.
Lower.
Lower than a king. A 3.
Higher.
Higher than a 3. A jack.
Lower.
Risking it lower. It is a 2. Trying to go all the way. It is higher. Mary Jane is game number 1. Well, that time you talked just the right amount. And it is game 1 to Mary Jane. Same 2 decks of cards. Janice, if you will, we'll start game 2 with a question to the challenger. Mary Jane, we asked 100 child psychiatrists. Generally speaking, should single men be allowed to adopt children? How many child psychiatrists said yes, single men should be allowed to adopt children?
Oh, I think that's becoming more common these days. Not real common, but more common than it was. So I would say a child psychiatrist would say about 37.
37 out of 100 say yes, they should be allowed.
No, I think it's right for a man to do it, but I don't think many child psychologists are really for that. I'm going to say it's lower.
Lower than that?
Yeah.
The actual number of child psychiatrists who said single men should be allowed to adopt children is 58, not lower, it is higher. And Mary Jane starts off the game with a 4.
Higher.
Higher than a 4, an 8.
Freeze.
We move over to freeze bar, protecting that position, and the question goes to you, Greg. Greg, we asked 100 senior citizen men. If you could have all the money you've ever spent on women, would you be a rich man today? How many senior citizen men said if they had all the money they spent on women, they would be rich today? Quickly now, Greg.
That's got to be a high number. I say it's going to be about 78.
78, higher or lower, Mary Jane?
I'm going to say, just because of my grandfather, I don't think he ever spent that much money. I'll say it's a little low.
Lower. The actual number of senior citizen men who would be rich is 19, very much lower. Mary Jane, you have an 8.
I would love to change that
You can
card.
change it,
yes.
winning the question. The 8 to a 6.
Well, I'll say it's higher.
Higher than a 6. No, a 5 is not higher. There's a big break for Greg. He has a free chance at a 7.
Let's go higher.
Higher than a 7. A 10.
Let's go lower.
Gonna risk it lower. A 3.
Higher.
Higher than a 3. An 8.
Freeze.
And we move over the freeze bar. Greg needs 1 card. We'll fill in the spaces. Mary Jane needs 3. And we have to take time out for a message of importance. We'll be here for that. Until then, have yourself a very good day. Bye-bye for now.
And
I'm Dr. Ken Sable. I'm a clinical psychologist.
Would you say you understand how the human brain works?